what are we saying here is, so obviously how do we relate? What do we know about Microsoft? As we all know, Microsoft is a US based product based company, correct? And what are these? How do you relate these things or these terms with Microsoft? These are the products of this company, Microsoft, correct? Windows is an operating system product, SQL Server is a database product, and MS Office is an office package from Microsoft, correct? And what is this Visual Studio here? As we know, Visual Studio is a programming environment or the programming framework of Microsoft, which is behind the development of some of the Microsoft's products, correct? Are we all aware of this fact? Do we Are we really clear about this relationship between these terms that are listed here? Guys, any questions? So I assume like this comparison is pretty easy. Like Microsoft, we all know this is a US based company, is owned by Bill Gates, and these are the products of that company, Microsoft. At least we all might have used at least two of these, these three products, right? Of course there are so many products of Microsoft, but at least these products we might have been used for sure. And one thing we need to understand is, behind the development of these products behind the development of these products, they have this Microsoft Visual Studio, which is a programming environment. The same peer-to-peer comparison goes here. Here if you see SAP, SAP is also a product-based company, which is a German-based company, and obviously these are the products. These are the products of SAP, and ABAP 4 is the programming environment behind the development of these products. Is it clear? And of course, you may not know much about these products. We'll be talking about at least 1 2 products, you know, to to get a better clarity as to what we're talking. Is it clear so far? So it is very important to understand that SAP is the name of the company, and it has some enterprise products, and ABAP is the programming language that was used to build these products. It is really important to understand these basic aspects. Is it clear, guys? Yeah. Can I consider it's clear? Yeah. Okay. So to go forward, okay, to go forward, what is this ECC? We'll talk a little about this. I'll put something like, what is this Windows? What is Windows? Windows, we all know it's an operating system, right? What this operating system does? Windows is an operating system product. What operating system does? Operating system will integrate your hardware and software, and it'll allow your applications to run on your computer, right? So this means operating system is basically a concept. Basically, it's a concept that says this is how you can actually, effectively utilize your memory, or effectively utilize your hardware. This is how you can synchronize your hardware and software. It will actually talk about the concepts, various different concepts. And Windows is one of the product that was created by Microsoft using these operating system concepts. The same way, ERP is a concept, enterprise resource planning is a concept. Enterprise resource planning that says, to run an enterprise and to plan your resources effectively, you have to integrate various business processes, and you have to do that and this, and it will talk a lot of things about effectively running an enterprise with the help of software. It will actually talk about those backgrounds. No, ERP basically talks about how do you leverage the software in order to properly integrate your business processes within your company, so that you can actually get the best out of resource utilization, or the saving, cutting down your wastage, and making sure you get a better profits, and all these things are actually covered conceptually under this concept ERP. And that ERP concepts have been implemented by various products. Like you have various different operating systems, right? The same way you have various different ERP products, and one of such product is SAP's ECC. Why I say SAP's ECC is the same way why I say Microsoft Windows. Microsoft's Window, correct? The company is Microsoft and the product is Windows, so we call it as Microsoft Windows. The same way it is SAP ECC, correct? And this is just one category of product. And what is this BW? Of course, we don't have to know everything about this, but I'm just giving you a basic perspective. Yeah. What is this BW? It is a data warehousing and reporting product. What this data warehousing would basically say? What this data warehousing would basically talk about? Data warehousing is basically a way to actually store the huge volume of data in a way that you could do faster analytical reporting. That's what is the data warehousing, the concept is all about, right? The data warehousing would say is basically, data warehousing is basically for the huge volume of data. When you have so much data, yet you want to be able to effectively, analyze the data. So you need to store it in a different format, and you need to be like able to store it effectively in a compressed format, because the volume is huge. And at the same time you should be able to generate effective analytical reporting on top of it, right? To be able to do all this, no, SAP have given another product called BW. So this is SAP's BW. SAP BW is data warehousing or a reporting tool. BPC is basically a planning and consolidation tool, and so on. Okay, this is not the list of products that SAP has. SAP has a various range of products. It has so many other products. I'm just giving a couple to, like, to understand some of the aspects of SAP's products. Okay, now what is ABAP? We already spoke about it. ABAP is a programming language which is used to build these products. Is it clear? ABAP is a programming language that was used to build these products. So what is the no like what is the origin of this programming language ABAP? Where was it? Like who created it? Who introduced it? Obviously, like if you look at every programming language, for example, if you take C, it was introduced in Bell Laboratories by so and so, right? We'll have its origin or its base where it initiated would be talked about, right? Obviously, this programming language ABAP was introduced by SAP themselves. That means they created a programming language for their products development. Get it? So SAP ABAP, or the ABAP, is a proprietary programming language of SAP. That means it's a programming language owned by SAP, right? This is not an open source. That's what it says. The same way Visual Studio is a proprietary product of Microsoft. Is it clear? ABAP, as the expansion goes, it is like advanced business application programming. Okay. advanced business application programming, right? And it is a fourth generation programming language, obviously. Now it's clear. So when you often look at ABAP, it would be written as ABAP 4. What is this ABAP 4? Like I said, ABAP is a fourth generation programming language. A fourth generation programming language has some additional features, compared to its predecessors. Correct? Something like it could connect to the database. That means you can write select queries directly into the code without having to write any connectors, right? That is one of the big advantage. And we have certain advantages like that, right? So you remember JDBC connectors and all, you have to write the code in order to connect to the database, and we don't have to exclusively write those connections inside your ABAP program. Those connections are already taken care by the database interface. You just have to write your queries to execute them in the ABAP code. Okay, is it clear? So does this give you a basic understanding about what is SAP, what is ABAP, and how do I relate this, and so on, right? Now that you know a little about the SAP and the products and ABAP, now we should understand, and of course we are all here to learn ABAP, right? So why should we learn ABAP? Is the other question, other obvious question that pops in, right? Why should we learn ABAP? It's obviously because when a product is built on certain programming language, in order to modify that product, in order to enhance or customize that product, you should obviously use the same programming language. That's the very basic idea. For example, you do a college project on Visual Studio, or maybe like in .NET or Java. So obviously if somebody has to change it, or somebody has to bring some new functionalities, enhance it, add some new screens, new logic, obviously where can they do it? Can they do it in Java by itself, or should they use some other programming language? The obvious answer is the same programming language. If it is developed in Java, it has to be changed in Java, right? On the same grounds, since it was developed in ABAP, in order to change it, it has to be done in ABAP. Simple, right? So why do we change? Why should we change? Obviously, when it is being used in a company, in an environment, in an organization, obviously this product might not suit 100% of their requirement. That means it will have some inbuilt functionalities, this product, but that may not be 100%, right? Therefore, to cater that remaining percentage of requirements which is not there inside this product, that has to be written, customized, that has to be customized. Okay guys, yeah, to proceed with, obviously like I said, to change that, to enhance that existing product, you should be able to do that in the same language on which it is developed, right? So let's actually get into ABAP, as in
let's actually get into one of the SAP systems and we'll see where do we actually write our ABAP programming. Yeah, are we clear with so far whatever we discussed? This is pretty basic, like, but you just the gist is very simple. SAP is a company, and it has some products, and ABAP is a language using which these products were developed. It is as simple as a summary, right? So we have a remote connection, which eventually will be shared for you guys as well. Okay. So I just deliberately closed it and will be, you are able to see my screen, right? Just see my remote connection, correct? And see this application here. Yeah, this application here is called SAP. You see this icon here, SAP logon icon on the desktop. Okay, this is basically SAP logon pad. This is called SAP logon pad, and it's also called SAP GUI. This is called a logon pad. This is as similar to your browser. That means you need a browser in order to connect to the web server, which you call as browsing, correct? Without browser, you can't see whatever is sent by a web server, right? It's as simple as that. The browser is a front-end application in order to access the back-end web server, right? On the same way, SAP Logon Pad is a front-end application that you install in your local machine in order to connect with SAP server, which is typically residing somewhere in the network. Are we clear? So I open this, and just like our favorites in the internet, we have some application server details with the instance number, etc. configured in our local GUI. Don't worry, this part will be taken care by you will be given your respective credentials by your basis guys. So you don't have to worry about what is my instance number, what is my IP and all. Okay. So if you have to create a new server here, you could actually say create and give the description. I'm just giving something. Server. Okay. And whatever the IP, I'm just giving you a mock just for this demonstration sake. See, as soon as you install, that will be appearing here. Obviously, this is not a valid server, so you can't connect to it. Okay? I'll try to connect, but obviously it can't connect to it. Right? So it will say there's no connection, or the server you are specifying is not available. Right? But this connection is something we know. It has a proper connectivity. Okay? I'll just double click on it, and then it will pop for the credentials. It will ask for the credentials. Okay, now that you're asking me what is the user ID and password to log in. Okay, we are logging into an ECC system, right? That means we are logging into a product, and inside that, if at all any changes to be done, we'll change and we'll see how. Okay. User ID. And the password. Okay. You give the credentials. Now you logged into the system, right? Now you have just logged into one of the SAP applications or one of the SAP's products. Now what? So when you are inside the ECC, when you logged into the ECC system, it makes sense to understand. ECC, like I said, is an ERP product, correct? And ECC will have any product that you talk about, be it your railway reservation or be it your bank or ticket booking system or whatever application you talk about. If you remember, that application is actually divided into modules, right? Any project is divided into modules, right? To make sure the complexity and every the product is developed properly, we we divide the product into modules, right? The same way the CCC product is divided into different modules. Something like the sales activities of a company are taken care in the SD module, material management, production planning, quality management, finance, controlling, and so on. Okay, there are various different modules inside your ECC product. Each module covers one of the functional area of a company: sales area, the production area, quality management, and so on. And each module will have its own functionality, needless to say, correct? So all these modules as a whole, this product was developed in ABAP, right? We are clear with this point, right? I'm still sticking to the same point. Now, what is there in this ECC product? You are saying, I just logged into the ECC product, and any given company have purchased this product, paying so much money. But what is there in that this product is something we have to understand first. Needless to say, when I say it's an ERP product, when I say it's an operating system product, it obviously has all the inbuilt operating system functionalities, right? It talks about how do you actually, connect a mouse, it will detect the drivers and it works, and it's already a working system because your operating system has been installed and it has all the inbuilt functionalities to take care of everything when you talk about computer usage, correct? The same way, this ERP product ECC already has all the resource planning functionalities. That means all the sales activities, any activity of a company is taken care inside this ECC system. That means the moment you you have this product, that means you can do anything. You be it a material creation to create a material, or be it a customer creation to create a customer. So all these activities, what I'm trying to say here is, you have different categories of activities. One could be the functional activity or the end user activity. End user who actually uses this application for business. And the other one could be a functional activity. A functional user or a functional consultant uses in order to configure the system and so on. And the other one is a technical activity that is done by an ABAP consultant for enhancing or customizing the system. So whatever is the activity, these activities will have the corresponding transaction codes assigned for your activity. You talk as a technical consultant, an ABAP consultant. What is that you do? Like I said, we create programs or we create tables. Obviously, to build an application, you have to have database tables, you have to have screens, you have to have logic, isn't it? These are the basic things you need, and so on. Okay, obviously the modules, like function modules, classes, the messaging, and all these things. Everything, all these activities would come under the technical activities. When I say functional activities, configuration is done by SPRO configuration. There is a transaction code called SPRO for configuration. The end user activities. When you say end user activities, you obviously mean create material, create order, create invoice, receive payment. So all these are active, and of course it's not the list, right? There are so many. There are so many such activities that are done by an end user. There are certain activities done by a functional consultant. There are certain activities done by a technical consultant. So whatever is your activity, for your activity there is a corresponding transaction code created and given by SAP. For example, if you have to create a program, obviously this is one of the key things that we do as part of our training. We lost the remote desktop connection. We are back. Okay. So if you have to create a program, for that there is a corresponding transaction code. We'll be talking, again about these things. SC38 is a transaction. Where do I type the transaction? You see this area called transaction code area. This will be there almost in every screen. This is called a transaction code area. You just give a transaction code here. It will take you to that transaction. SC38 is to create programs. Thing you have to remember here is SC38 is to create an ABAP program. Okay? And here, I'm not talking a lot about this screen now. I'll be creating a simple program, and obviously, like you have to understand each and every element here that you can see, and a lot of other things that you learn as we progress. Set program, sample, create program. Here, obviously, what is that you do? Let's say we'll write a very simple program. You just enter a customer number and you want to show the customer name and city, right? But where is the customer number? What customer am I talking about? Actually, obviously, like I said, this is a complete application, right? When I say an application that has corresponding database, tables, everything is in it, right? So, how do I see a table? We can see the tables data in another transaction called C16. You don't have to by heart these things now. You'll get them. SC38 is to create a program. SC16 is to view the tables data, right? In SAP system. So I have a table called KNA1 that holds the customer master data, customer information. These are the field names, right? And I simply so this KNA1 table has customer details. This is the table, right? Now I am writing a simple program based on this table, on this table. So my program is I will give a customer number and give me the customer's name and city in the output. Correct? Very simple. Okay? So what I'm doing, I'm just declaring the data first. Data. And then I'm declaring the input field, which is my customer number. With this input field declaration, I could see the same input field shown at the time of executing the program. This is something like I can directly compare this like my scanf. You know scanf, right? In C programming, if at all you know. Yeah. And I'm writing a select query, select single start from KNM1 into KD underscore KNM, where number equal to K underscore. Right? So this is a select query. Obviously, why we write a select query is to select the database, is to query the database table with your conditions. Correct? So after this select query, we expect the result to be retrieved into this variable, and that variable I'm just going to display the output. Right. It's displaying some more information. Okay. So it's very simple. If you see, this is like my scanf asking the user to input my screen, and once I get the input, I'm processing to get the corresponding customer details from the table with the select query. Once the details are retrieved, I'm just displaying them in the output with the right statement. This is like my printf. Simple, right? Obviously, you don't worry, like how to do all this, because we'll be talking about them in detail going forward. This is just for you to feel how do you write an ABAP program, a simple something like a welcome world ABAP program. Okay, so I have this. So just to see which customer are we going to key in, we'll give this customer, right? Andrew Williams, 261. We'll give this customer. So I give this customer number, and I execute the program. So Andrew Williams, say she belongs to this city in US. Is it clear, guys? Any questions in this? I'll probably unmute you guys. Is it clear what we discussed so far? Okay, so obviously we'll be talking more about like how do obviously each and everything about your programming concepts, and then how do you use them in order to enhance your product, and all these things we'll be talking as part of our course going forward. Okay, so that's all from my end, and if you have any other questions, This being a very first demo session, you could even ask any generic questions you might have. Not that you can't ask me later, but yeah, if at all you have anything to take a decision, you could basically ask me. If you want, I can unmute you guys. That's it. Done with. I have unmuted you guys. Your question says you are new to programming. So obviously, see, okay, these references I gave you, scanf, printf, just in case you are aware, you can easily relate. When you say new to programming, is it like you don't know any language, or how is it? You could actually speak, like I have unmuted you.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, sir. Actually, I'm very much new to the languages. I don't know any language.
Oh, is it? Okay, okay. See, basically, okay, I'm not, boosting the ability of ABAP. Now, what I'm saying, ABAP is relatively a simple programming language. It can nowhere be compared with complex languages like, Java and all. Java, C++, they're far more complex compared to ABAP. At least, at least to the basic usages perspective. So ABAP is relatively simple. So we get to learn from the very basic, whatever the basic you could require in order to understand the very basics. Like, why am I declaring a variable? We can even talk from that level. Yeah. So so this would obviously, like I said, if you have some prior programming understanding, you can actually relate, isn't it? If you know some programming language, any language, no matter what, because everything goes by the same concept, right? Declare a variable, get the data, show the data. That's all any report is about. No matter what language you use and whatever you do, correct? The same way, if you know something, if you know any other programming language, you can easily relate ABAP. If you don't, then don't worry. Like, you have to learn something, so you can learn with this. You can start with this. It can also give you a better start. When I
Sir,
say,
is there any? Okay, okay, sorry.
yeah, go ahead, yeah.
Sir, actually, is there any need for doing any sort of certification exams in SAP, sir?
See, basically, certification comes after you get trained or after your work while you're working. So basically, certification can add value in terms of getting a job. It's a can, okay? It is not that
Okay.
will add value. It's not. But these days, that the value for certification within India have really come down. That means
Hmm.
people, okay, certification will actually talk around your theoretical expertise. Unless you go for
Hmm.
a professional certification, the basic certification will actually talk only around the theoretical aspects, very theory. So somebody who can actually mug up the book and go for the exam can clear that exam. It's like that, right? Of course, it's very costly. It's very costly to do the certification. After doing that, the comparison, the value proposition is not so good at this level. And of course, if you're planning to go abroad with this learning with ABAP as your base, then certification will definitely add value there.
Okay, okay, sir.
And of course, certification should be along with a very good understanding and a very good knowledge, or your ability. A good ability plus certification would really add value.
Okay, sir. Sir, is there an, actually I'm from BTech electronics background, sir. So coding is like a new world to me. So is there any like learn ABAP? Is it sufficient for me to get a job, or I need to learn some more other versions?
Not really. See, basically what happened, ABAP, and there are some advanced ABAP aspects. For example, the web flows and workflows and ALI docs. And see, it's become like If you know only ABAP, it's like okay, and not that there are no openings, but like just for ABAP alone, they have come down when compared to the earlier days. Previously, just ABAP used to get a job, but now ABAP plus something on top of ABAP. It's like not. It's like a continuation to ABAP. You have choices basically. After learning ABAP, you could actually continue with the same programming platform, like web intros, workflows, ALI docs, things like that. Or you could choose to get into any of the non-programming. Obviously, this ABAP base will actually give you a good start. For example, a BW ABAP consultant is really like is an appreciated profile than just ABAP or just BW. I'm just giving you an example.
Right.
So with ABAP, if you have something else, it'll add a lot of value. That's the point.
Okay. Okay. Right, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay. So any other questions, guys? I see one Mr. Sai Harish has joined, and but like Harish, I don't know if you know my Sai Harish. Yeah, actually, we kind of started from about 7:30 and kind of discussed a little around the very basic demo kind of stuff. You could ask me if you have any questions, or probably you could join tomorrow's class and then see how it goes.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions, guys?
Sir, is it better to have online lectures or classroom classes are more useful, like for starters like me?
Yeah. See. Okay. If you ask me that, well, actually, that purely depends on you, man. Actually, like even if you're in the classroom or the online,
Yeah.
mm, the obvious difference that you might get is some people who sit along with you. That's in terms of the trainer. I don't see a big difference because it's the same, right? Like you sit here or in the classroom, you would get the same content, right? But the people who sit along with you, who you could actually share things with them, right? You could actually ask them questions, or you could actually do some practice sitting with them. That's the advantage I could say. And obviously, like
Yes. Sir, you will be taking the classroom sessions, right?
uh, no, actually, like I'll be taking online sessions. I sometimes take classroom sessions, but at least for this, for this,
Okay, okay, sir.
it's planned as online.
Yeah.
You could decide actually, like yeah, it depends, like if you can really go to the classroom and yeah, and you, like I said, it has its own advantages.
Yes. Yeah, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
No problem, guys. Yeah? So we'll conclude with this and we'll continue tomorrow. Okay, thanks, guys.
Bye, sir.
Okay.